got some Reynolds Wrap out the kitchen. I'm grabbing a little bit at a time, and I'm going to cut it into strips. Fold them in half and wrap. So you see the twisted wire is meant to help give it more surface area to cling to. I'm not going to put a whole lot of foil, just enough to sort of give it form. I'm probably going to put more in the middle and less on the limbs and just a little bit on the head. I wish I had done this in school. When I was in college, there just wasn't sculpture offered at the time. Of course, all the cool classes got offered after I graduated, which always sucks. But it is what it is. I think with the level of training I had, I might have some advantages over people who were purely digital. And this is kind of good because I can see the shape of it coming together a lot easier, you know, just that upper body. And I bought enough of this stuff that I can do more of these projects. Like every time I teach this class, I could do a different sculpture. That would be kind of fun. Again, I don't want to get so thick that the foil bursts out of the surface of where his body would be beneath the clay. I'm kind of realizing that maybe I don't even need a stand. Just this might be enough to hold it all together. But the tricky part is if this slips out, I may not be able to get it back in because it'll be underneath all the clay. But I'm going to make sure that these two screw holes are not covered. Let me see if this will work. That works faster than scissors. I gotta admit, this is really fun. There's always a thrill of doing something that you've never done before and not knowing whether you're going to succeed or not. All you can do is really prepare as much as you possibly can. YouTube is a great free resource. But if I really wanted to get serious about this, I probably would go take a workshop with somebody and try to make it so that I'm tightening up this wire down here. That's kind of giving me a little hassle. I also don't want it to stick out of his leg, so I'm going to try to bend it tighter. And bend this tighter too. Press it down anyway. So many of these figures are now done digitally. Squeeze out all the space, the air trapped in there. Finish up the legs. I also got some Ziploc so that when I open this up and don't use it all, I can make sure that it stays, it doesn't dry out. That's the reason why I got it from the kitchen. I also am going to use this chopstick that I'm going to cut in half and wrap with dental floss so that I can make a tool to cut the clay like a piano wire. It's going to be easy if I just rip these off all at one time rather than having to stop, tear one, and then do it. Like whenever you can save time by doing stuff in batches, like how I'm tearing this foil, do so, because it'll make the project go a lot faster. Now, doing all this foil, it's not totally necessary for everybody, because not everybody's piece is going to need it. Like applying the clay straight to the armature can work totally fine in a lot of cases. So you make your judgment whether you need it or not. I think this just kind of adds more form and makes it easier for me to see, because humans are a little more complicated than some creatures that are made from very simple, primitive shapes. And when I say primitive, I'm just talking about basic cube, sphere, rectangle, pyramid, etc. I'm not talking about the lack of complexity in the design. I still want it to be more clay than foil, so I'm not going to do a whole lot more of this. I'm just going to get it on the bottom parts of his legs and feet, and then I might start the clay. Just want to make sure that it reads really well and that there's some mass to hold on to. I need to bend this wire so that it doesn't interfere with the hand. I might even have to cut it off. I know I'll probably have to cut off some of this because that's where his hand is going to be. Might be challenging to get hands this small. To stop so that his middle finger is about mid-thigh. So this is how he's looking so far. It's looking pretty decent to me. Still got the curve to his body. He's standing up pretty well. Try and wrap his feet and lower leg. I'm not too concerned about this part that's sticking out because I'll just cut it off when I'm done sculpting. This is just to help me give him balance. You also want that longer flow anyway in the forms so that your character it's hard to draw and stop on a long graceful curve. It's much easier to draw the long curve and then cut it off at the end so that that energy and flow continues. Yes, you're going to post your videos to the discussions, Meredith. This foot is going to be tricky because I don't know if I only have just this part of the foot. We'll have to see if I can give it enough mass to hold on to. Your foil strips don't have to be perfect. It's going to be buried under the clay anyway, so don't worry about it. Funny how something can just become so real, just giving it some shape and form. Like I said, I created this character 10 years ago, but I never went back to it because I just got busy with work, and now it's starting to come alive, which is a pretty neat feeling. I can see the mistakes that I need to fix too as I do this, because he's not fully symmetrical. You're going to constantly need to adjust and quite possibly hide some things you got wrong. But the finished effect of having your piece done can outweigh the minor asymmetry of the character, because nobody is perfectly symmetrical. Like, you can't cut someone in half and have the exact same mirrored reflection on both sides. If you do, it becomes too robotic. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how to stuff this part to form his head. Let's try and do like figure 8 pattern in here. And twist as I go. All in all, this is probably enough to start sticking the clay to. Maybe I'm over-engineering it, but that's my nature. I think you guys get the idea, even if I were to stop now, what you need to do. I hope all your teachers do demos for you, showing you exactly how to do stuff. Do your other teachers do demos like this? His legs keep spreading out. So I'm working. need to make it crunchy, because if I make it too smooth, the clay won't have anything to grip onto. It's also advantageous to use the side that's not shiny in terms of the foil. I'm done with applying it to his head. I think that is enough. I think I'll apply this to his pelvis. It's like making a metal diaper for my little guy here. Hopefully that's enough to get going. Now I'm just going to try to squeeze all the air gaps out of the foil. Alright, I'm going to stop it.